What's up, guys? It's been a long day. It's been a long weekend. So I still have to unpack all the stuff. So we're gonna wait for a few more people to get on here. But in the meantime, I gotta pull all the cases into the room and then start like unpacking. And then might throw some food into them. Might not. Just depends on how I'm feeling. Because they've had a stressful weekend. I don't know if they're gonna eat or not. So yeah, shout out to my Mario shirt. It's pretty awesome. All right, so, oh, here we go. We're getting people. We're getting people. So, we got 4 of these bad boys that we have to take care of. So, that is what we are going to do right now. So, these are my showcases. They are ARS. They are probably, at this point, like, close to 12 years old, I guess. So they are a little old, but they do the job. And they come in these handy-dandy, crazy cases that are solid as shit. And then, we got all the geckos. All of them. So now, I gotta go through and, they're all labeled what they are, and then I just have to go get their tubs and put them away. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so we got 75, 76. So that's this one. So basically what I do is, I have these little stickers that can be pulled on and off, and those go on the tubs. And then whenever I put them away, or put them into the case, I put the little sticker on wherever they're at. And then I'm able to just keep using the same sticker back and forth. 85, 86. So these pretty much should be in order. Because whenever I take them to the show, I kind of leave them in an order in the case, so that it's easier to put them away whenever I get home. So, that's what we're doing. So how was everybody's weekend? Pretty good? Pretty good? Mine was alright. It was tiring. 93, 94. 93, 94. See, they should just be right in order, so it should be pretty easy. Come on, somebody say something in the chat. That'd be funny if somebody just actually wrote something. Should be this one, which is 95. And it is 95, so these go in here. What show did you do? It was Repticon Pembroke Pines in Florida. It was a little rough. Little rough. 96, D2. Mail. D2, D4. Probably that one. Alright, I'm going to set this off to the side. And then go to the next one. Alright, so these are babies. So this will get a little bit more interesting. Alright, I-15. I-15. It's probably this stack right here is what all these are. C2, D6. No. So this one is this one. So it's actually the stack beside it, probably. C4, C2. C2, D6, G8, L4. It's this stack. Didn't realize you were, I'm Florida also. North Florida, Live Oak. Yeah, I'm actually in Cape Coral, Florida, right now. Actually, pull this little guy off and put it over here, so I can use it for the next show. That's the good part about these, is that the stickers can be reused. Nice work. What's up, SaSobek? What racks do I use? The same racks I've used my whole career. Animal plastics. I don't use anything else. Because honestly, nothing else would match. And I'm, you know, one of those people that need matching stuff. So, yeah. So also these stickers, so you see this one says D6, which it's actually backwards to you, so I'll turn it that way and then it'll say D6, which maybe you guys see it differently. But anyway, and you notice it was in blue, so D6 blue, so that tub goes here. And again, they're like in a specific order, so like I know exactly which ones are which Gecko's tubs. And then it smells like them. It's like their home. They know that they're home. And then some of these are in as siblings. So siblings get grown together up until a certain point, and then they get separated. Alright, I'm going to pull these out a little bit so that I know that there are no animals in them. Alright, so back to these cases, which I'll spin it this way so you can see it from the top. So the ARS cages actually have holes in them, and then I put liners in the bottom, these black liners, because it shows off the animals a little bit better. So they're these. And these are actually washable and reusable if you really wanted to, or you can throw them away. They're pretty cheap. So I usually reuse them, honestly, just to save on waste, because, you know, they don't poop a lot in here, because, yes, I get them from the Animal Plastics website, my racks. The model number, I would have to get back to you. I forget. They're the 32 quart iris tubs, deep and wide, and then the baby racks are 6 quart. These racks are 15 high, so they're 6 feet tall. A little bit over 6 feet tall, because I'm 6 foot. So, yeah. It's the casters that make them like a couple inches like taller. But anyway, back to putting these guys away. So F5 is who I'm looking for. It's a male. We got 60, 59, 58, 57, so it's probably right before that. So here's number 60. So on the tub, I have what sex they are, their number, if they're on Morph Market, and their genetics. And yes, F8 tells me everything I need to know about their genetics. And then I take their little sticker, that guy actually has his number 60 on the sticker, and he goes back in here. And I grab 58, and 58 is right here. So it makes it pretty easy to put them away. And then they just go back into their normal tub. And then tomorrow I will go through, clean water and feed all these guys. And that will get them all freshened up for the week, basically. Alright, this one sold. was this sold by a female a while ago. And then this one will be empty because I actually sold that animal. So I'll just leave it out. And then I put these back. And honestly, like, ugh, I almost lost all the lids. That would be so fucking bad. Because then I'd have to buy a whole new one. As you can see, they're like cleaned out. So what I'll do is if there is poop in there, I'll take out the liner, clean it real quick. And then I put the cases away clean so that they're ready to go for next use, basically. And then since I cleaned up all the poop, so on weekend shows, usually like I'll pack either Friday night or Saturday morning, depending on how far away the show is. Whenever I take them to the show, I typically will, put paper towel in there on top of the liner so that they usually will poop on the paper towel. And then it's just easier to take it all out. Because what happens is, you know, whenever they're nice and warm in the racks, they're great. You know, but once you take them off of heat, usually their natural reaction is to go to the bathroom, or if they have something in their stomach, which I usually feed at least like 4 to 5 days ahead of time. That makes it so that they're pretty much all digested in their stomach, and then that way I can, they're usually just going to poop. They're not going to like vomit. If you feed them right before the show and then you cool them off, they're going to vomit. So like you don't want to do that. That's stressful on the animal, and it's not a great look. So yeah, so that's that. So I'm going to move this case over and grab the other case. No kidding. So that's basically one case put away already with me talking, and it took less than 12 minutes. So it doesn't take long to put everybody away. And then I usually try to do it the night like I get home. That way they're not all hanging out in these cases, which in these cases it's really not that awful because it's in the house, so it's nice and warm. And they have a lot of room in these cases. So, all right, I4, J5, I9. All right, so I need I4s, which I4, all right, I4 there. All right, so I got blue I4, which is this one. So the color coding actually matches the week that the egg was laid, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. So let me pull a tub real quick. Let's go with this girl. All right, so if you look on the tub, my marking system is basically each week that I pull is a different color. So that actually goes on to the incubation tray, which, here's one here, because there's 2 more eggs left to hatch this year. See how this one's red? So like it will correlate to the tub when the eggs were laid in red, and then on here it's just the genetics, and then that gets put on the tub in whatever the genetics in whatever color it is. So I can actually tell, like, just by, you know, writing E6 in black, I can tell you when the which eggs they were from that female, if that makes sense. So it's the quickest way to like know genetics and like what clutch it is if I look at the tub, basically. So yeah, I do that. So like on that sticker right there, it was blue I4. So I4 is right actually here. So this is the I4 tub. So literally it was what, blue I4? So it was the second clutch out of this pairing, and I collected it on 4/24. So that doesn't tell you when they were hatched, it just tells you when the eggs were collected. And then if you noticed right after the blue one, there was a black one, and that's what the next one is black I4. So usually in the room, so I started off whenever they're in the racks, they are in like size order basically. So the ones the furthest in the corner were the first hatchlings, and then it comes this way. And then once I got to, it's actually probably about right here right now, because these ones are kind of like hold back-ish, wait and see what they look like. And then the ones up on the top, so the ones on the rolly rack and the ones on the top are actually, the siblings are near each other, so that it's easier to go back through and look to see, you know, what the siblings look like compared to each other, if that makes sense. And a lot of the ones that are on like the top and on the rolly rack are not animals that I probably am going to keep. Those ones got moved into these 3 racks right here. So there are siblings. This clutch was first, this clutch was second. And they go in there. So it's a very interesting, intricate system in a way that I use that probably I would only understand, and I kind of like it that way, so that random people just can't be like, oh, I know how you do your stuff. Because it's like, nope, actually you don't. Because a lot of it is in my head, so that actually helps a lot. Alright, so we got J15C1. These guys. Alright. So J15 green. Alright. No more questions, guys? Thanks for joining me on a Sunday night, by the way, while I do this. Alright, J7C1, that's these 2. So this one's interesting. These guys are actually not siblings. So this is J7 and C1. But I can put them together because one is a snow. This guy, a snow bold, and then this one is colorful. So just by that, I know which one is the C1 and which one's the J7. So the J7 is actually the snow, because I know who is who, basically. I4, which is this one. So those guys go there, and then this goes back over here. Alright, so this one is done. J16, that's going to be in a different one. Actually, I'll just put this in here, so I can lock this back up. And once I get a case done, I toss it back out of the room. So I have a special place right outside the room that I keep them, so that they stay organized and clean and out of the weather and all that stuff. All right, next up. F12, D2, F12, D2. There's an F12 there, but I don't think it's that one. F12, D2. I think it's actually this stack. No, that one goes there. E6, these ones, E6, alright, so it's some of these. Plop, plop. The F12 is up there. Here. Do any more questions, guys? About any of my method to my madness or anything like that? E6 is that one. A11 is that one. Not even like how I label everything. Nothing. E6. Do you guys know like what the letter and the number mean? By any chance? Anybody? Or are you guys just watching? E6 is this guy. G8. G8. It's probably over here. G8. Loop. G8. 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 Yes. Nothing, guys? Come on. Any questions? It's boring if you don't ask me anything. What is your ultimate goal as a Leo breeder, and has it changed over time? It's definitely changed over time, for sure. Honestly, what is my goal? I don't know. Really. What's up, Sophia and Sis? Alright, so I guess my goals whenever I first got into doing this were definitely a lot different than they are now. Before, you know, definitely before it was like very driven to be like make first of their kinds in the world and stuff like that. So that, you know, caused, yeah, it was, I guess I should say like like early on, because I was young, it was more ego driven than it is now. Now it's just kind of doing it for the love of what they are and creating new stuff and just creating like these awesome animals is really like what my like passion is now. more than anything, actually. J13 blue. This one. So yeah, like now it's definitely different. Like now, like I kind of respect my own place in the industry a little bit more, because I have a place, if that makes sense. And honestly, like I like helping like new breeders, and like breeders that like I believe in. So I have a couple good friends now that are like, you know, they've been breeding for a couple years now, and it's good to like mentor them and help them, if that makes sense. Do you see more good Leo breeders now or back then? Ooh, that's kind of a loaded question. It's different. It's two different times. Like, I don't think one time had better breeders over the other. I think it's just evolved. I should say this. There were good breeders in both eras. And then there was also bad breeders in both eras. So it's not that the like one era was better over the other. You know, I think now there's different challenges than there was then. There's probably more breeders now than there was then. At least whenever I first started doing this. Because whenever I first started doing this, it was a very, very small community of people. And, you know, there wasn't, like, a lot of the overseas people and stuff like that as well. K12C2. K12C2. What's these ones? So, it was just different. You know, how things are marketed now is different. Like, the different social medias are different. There's just a lot of different things about both eras, I guess. I know that's not really a great explanation at all. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, both eras had good breeders. Both eras had bad breeders. Usually the bad breeders end up weeding themselves out. So there's that. And honestly, like, I guess this time I've stayed more out of what everybody else is doing and just kind of focusing on myself and like people that around me that that I appreciate and that I, you know, care about their personal growth, I guess. And everything else is just noise. And, you know, I kind of just stay out of it. Because I don't care, I guess, if that makes sense. Just trying to do me. So, yeah. I mean, I definitely have, you know, my people at the shows that I do. It's kind of interesting because, like, the shows down here, there's shows very, very often, and they're definitely not as big overall as, like, the shows up north that I'm used to. So, you know, you see a lot of the same vendors at the shows down here. And everybody's got their little niche, and everybody kind of does, you know, their own thing. So it's kind of cool to go to shows because it's almost like a traveling circus in a way, where we all travel there, we hang out all weekend, and then we go home. So there's definitely that. Case number 3. These things are like 40 or 50 pounds too, by the way. They're not fucking light because they're heavy duty. Which is good because it keeps my acrylic nice. Alright, now for some males. These guys are up here. These 3. That's this guy. Even after a long weekend at the show, he still looks cool. Still awesome. Honestly, most of these animals take shows like very, very well. I mean, some of these guys, like these males that I'm putting away right now, they've probably been to like 8 shows, if not more, and they've done amazing. D6. It's gotta be this one. And they do well. Put them back in their little houses and everything is cool. Anybody go to Tinley? Alright, that one's sold. These guys can put back. Or anyone else do anything fun this weekend? Whee! She was laying on where I had to put it, so I had to pick her up. What are you doing? Hey. Alright. Go back over here. Yeah, if your sister wasn't laying on your box, I could bring your box in. Just like about. Love my cats. They're fucking cool as shit. They are awesome. Alright. 96, 97. 96, 97. That's these two. 96. 5. JD4. Do. Female, male, 109. He's probably in here. G2, here it is. Alright, I-16. Nobody saying anything. Just chilling, listening to me. Ugh. Poop. Legit poop. So pull that one out. They decided to poop whenever they got home. All right, I-16. 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 It's this one. Do. And put it back. Oh. No, not putting it back. Forgot about the one underneath it. Alright. These guys. Alright, C9, C7. What are you guys doing, cats? Huh? What are you cats doing? C9, which is here. C9. Oh, I got a question. J12. What are you cats doing? Alright, what we got here? What characteristics do you take into account other than color when pairing geckos? Like, are there fertility issues that need corrected or what? If I notice any of my animals are producing animals that I wouldn't personally want in my collection, I stop breeding, period. It's just something that I've always done. If I start seeing like fertility issues or anything like that, like those animals are taken out of breeding rotation and not used anymore, because I don't want to produce animals that I wouldn't want myself. So when it does come to that, there is a lot of things that I personally do, because like that's the good part about being on this large of a scale is, let's say I see an issue with, you know, babies from a certain group or pairing. I can literally kind of look at that and be like, well, why is that happening and how can I correct it, or is it worth correcting? Sometimes it's not worth correcting. And then those animals, I think it was C7, right? Yeah. So those animals are just no longer like used. Or if it was something, literally like those animals just stop being used. Like I don't even try to use different males or anything. Because I do not want any of my animals to be weak whatsoever. I just don't. Especially whenever I'm selecting breeders and stuff like that. Like, even if it has like amazing color, and it's like a slow grower or weak or in any way like has any sort of like weirdness, it doesn't get to breed. It just doesn't. I mean, whenever I'm producing like, you know, I hatched over 1,000 animals this year. Like, I can be pretty freaking selective of what gets held back and what doesn't. Usually animals that are not up to a breeding, not up to a breeding standard, I'll usually sell them off as pets. And they will be sold for cheaper, and they go into the pet market and never be seen again. Because I don't want those genetics getting out there and being reproduced and making weak animals for everybody else. So I try to do my part with doing that so that they're just no longer even in the gene pool anymore, honestly. Because I don't want them there, if that makes sense. J16. I think all the other ones are up there. Maybe not. No, they're right here. They are the first stack. Hope that answers your question. Because I'm kind of like focusing on putting these away and answering questions, so hopefully it's not getting weird. A college student, did that answer your question? Hopefully. or should I elaborate more? J8. Thank you. All right, it did. So what do you guys think of putting geckos away after the show? Fun times, huh? So I've technically been up since... Cat, what are you doing? Psst. Why are you trying to climb the wall? You need to stop. So yeah, today was kind of a long day, like show weekends always are. Usually I have to get up at like... So actually, let me tell you about the weekend, because that was fun all in itself. So, whenever I did that... Oh, God. Whenever I did that live where I was packing up animals, I packed up like half the animals, right? And then I was like, all right, like I'll just pack the rest up in the morning. And then, you know, went to bed, missed the podcast so I could get to bed. And then, I like wake up in the morning and I'm like, what time is it? Because I had set my alarm to go off at like 5 so I could pack the rest of the animals and then hit the road by like 6:30 so that I could get to the show on time so I could set up. Hold on one second. So I wake up, these are in there somewhere. So I wake up and it is freaking 6 o'clock and, you know, slight panic sets in at that point where I'm like, oh shit, I am going to be late. So I literally like packed up the rest of the animals real quick and literally took a shower, packed clothes, whatever for the weekend, and then literally hit the road by 7. Drove 2 hours to the show, got there at 9:02, and the show opened up at 9. But the great part is that, well, good and bad. The show was so slow and so dead. I did not sell a single leopard gecko on Saturday. So that sucked. But, you know, it just is what it is. Like, you have bad shows. And then, after that, drove 2 hours home. And then woke up this morning, drove 2 hours there. And then did the show from, today the show was only from 10 until 4. So I did the show and then drove 2 hours home. So in all those times in the car, I got to listen to the podcast, which was a very good one, with Rebecca from Dragoon Gecko, and then listen to the NASCAR race today and all that fun stuff. Last one! Aren't you guys so excited? It only took me, it's gonna take me like an hour. That's fine. And honestly, like, I was taking my time because J1, J2, that's these guys. Yes. J1 is the snow. So Ding. F12. F12 is this one. That one's good there. G10. F15. So these ones go here. The dish fell. All right, I got another question. Woohoo! I was wondering also more about abstract characteristics like personality. Do certain gene pools have a more chill, excitable archetype, or is each gecko completely unaffected by their ancestry? Very good question. So, it's kind of a loaded question. There are certain mutations that are maybe a little bit more chill, like albinos seem to be a little bit more chill, but is that because of like their light sensitivity? Blizzards are usually a little bit more assholes, so there's that. Most of my stuff is pretty chill for the most part. Like, I would consider them normal leopard geckos in their personalities, if that makes sense. I mean, if you really dove into it, you could probably get some sort of difference happening, but for the most part, like, they're really... yeah, I mean, there's certain mutations that are a little bit more jumpy or lively and chill, but you know, is that every single one of that particular line? Not necessarily, if that makes sense. So it probably could be bred that way. I mean, like I said, most of my animals are like super chill, so I've never had to like... I did have like a group of animals, like whenever I first started, that their names were, it was a group of animals. There was 3 of them in a tub, and we nicknamed them Psychos because literally every time you opened up the tub, they were like jack-in-the-boxes, and literally were just trying to like go crazy and get the hell out. But I feel like the generation after that, like, they were fine. So, like, I don't even think it was inheritable, if that makes sense. So, yeah. Hopefully that answered your question. You probably could breed for it, but, like, literally leopard geckos are so chill most of the time anyway that, like, you don't have to, I guess. All right, last little group. Whoop. Sisters. All right, so there is all the leopard geckos put away. Did that kind of answer your question, hopefully? Hey, college student. Like, you could pull out, like right here, these are albinos, right? So like, they're super chill, like super easy to handle. You know, they're like, I mean, literally just sits there, right? And then I pull out like, maybe like a non-albino, and some of them will like chill and sit still, and like this one's being very, very good right now. But like, if I were to pull out like one that's already like awake and rambunctious, like, which, there we go. Like, see how like this one is just a little bit more, I gotta run it a little bit. You know, like the non-albinos are kind of like that. Here's like another tub of like bell albinos, and like, see, they're not even trying to run or do anything crazy. Which I don't know if that's like albino or what, but if it was a lot brighter in the room, they would probably be trying to get away. So like trying to take pictures of these guys outside, they're more light sensitive. Like, so in here, they actually have their eyes open because it's not super, super bright right now. And they're perfectly fine, if that makes sense. So that just showed you right there, like the albinos are a little bit more chill, if that makes sense. Do you work with a pastel gene? I do not. What are your thoughts on fire water line, specifically the lava line? I've never really like worked with it, so like I don't know, honestly. I feel like they're decently pretty, but like I've never worked with them, seen them in person, saw what their genetic capability is, if that makes sense. So I can't really comment on how great they are. I would not be an expert in that field of that line, because I feel like that line kind of came, it's kind of came after I left, and I haven't got it in it since I came back. All right, guys. Well, do you plan on introducing new gene into your collection? There's always that possibility. If I see something that I like, then I will. If I don't see anything that I like that I think will fit something that I'm doing, probably not going to get anything new. It's got to be a special animal that I feel like will enhance something that I'm doing. I think I have a pretty good base right now, and even the base that I have, you know, I'm going to be able to produce like weird stuff off of that. Like I've got, I have all three strains of albino. I have white and yellow. I have gem snow, albi snow, tug snow. I don't really care to have max snow in my collection right now, because I don't want to produce supers. I'll let other people do that, because I'm more into line breeding stuff, and if you produce a super, can't really line breed that too much. I'm into color and pattern, so a super snow just isn't my cup of tea. I technically do have Murphy's Patternless and Blizzard here in the collection as well, so if I want to work on that kind of stuff, I can. I've got Marble Eye, the Eclipse gene, I have Bay, I actually have a Nor Desire male that is basically just used for test breeding. So like I have Black Knights, like I have, you know, most of the genes that I need to create stuff. I've got animals that derive from firebolts. I've got, you know, derivative red diamond stuff. So like there's not really, I have funky jungle stuff. So there's not really much that I'd really want to get, I guess, at this point. Yeah, I kind of like my collection as is, so. And I think there's a lot to do with what I have, so yeah. But thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Hopefully it wasn't too boring watching me put away about 80 some animals, because that's, I think, what I brought to the show, around there. So I'll definitely make some videos this week and stuff like that. I think the market for leopard geckos is going to make a comeback because of all the potential that there is. That's very true. And everything goes through its ups and downs. So right now it's slightly down, but you know what that means. It's going to be on its way up. So you got to be prepared for whenever it goes up. I don't exactly know when that'll be. If it'll be next year or the year after or the year after that, but eventually it will go up. So you need to be ready for whenever it does. I just dropped my lid. So yeah, It's one of those things that do it because you love it and don't worry about the monetary aspect of it, because you're not going to be a millionaire. That's for sure. Also, I like the shorts you posted. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get that algorithm up. So hopefully the shorts get it there. But anyway, this Friday I will be on the podcast. Why am I drawing a blank on what the podcast is called? Somebody please tell me what the podcast is called so I can say it and get it right. It's Inside the Hide. That's it. I did it before you guys even commented. I will be on Inside the Hide this Friday at 9:30 at night p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll probably be on there for a good 3 hours, so it's going to be a long night. And hopefully they don't keep me after like they did last time for like 2 extra hours. So, and then I will be at Iguana Fest at Iguana Land in Florida. It's going to be a really cool thing. Come out, there's free food, free beer. You get to hang out at Iguana Land, see all the animals. It is technically the world's largest reptile zoo per diversity of species, which is actually pretty cool. I think they're up to like 240 different species. A lot of them of which are turtles. So if you're into turtles, come check it out. It's all outdoors. Very, very cool place. There will be an auction to benefit iguana research, I believe. Just go to the Iguana Land website and it will tell you what it's all for, how much tickets are, and all that stuff. There's some really cool stuff in the auction. So bring your pennies, because people are going to be bidding on that stuff. I think the auction's at like 6 or 7 at night, and it goes till like 10 at night. I think there's like 3 live bands going to be there. Like, it's going to be a party. So come and hang out. And I think there's even hotels in the area if you want to stay in that area. But it'll be cool. So I got to get going. I'm going to go watch some football or something and chill for the rest of the night. So have a great night. Peace.